Everything you need to know about Egypt's $58 billion new capital city under construction. Hello Displorers, welcome to another informative video presented to you by Displore. In this video, we shall look at Egypt's new capital city, which is worth over $58 billion, currently under construction. The African continent is going through a rapid phase of construction and refurbishment of old and dilapidated parts of the continent, with many nations doing everything to give itself that fresh facelift. One of such is the famous Akon City in Senegal, which is in process to create a completely digital city. To watch a full video on Akon City, click on the card above. From the Great Pyramids of Giza, formed in 2500 BC, to the Suez Canal, constructed in the 19th century, and the Aswan High Dam built in the 1960s, Egypt is no stranger to mega projects. That is why Egypt joined the race to create a new city within the country, all from scratch, coming as no surprise to us. Egypt's case is particular because it is not only doing so for fancier development, but to accommodate the growing population of the country, which is congested in a small portion of land. To know everything about Egypt's new capital city, we have to fully dissect and peel off the layers of the entire project, as well as its current progress. But first of all, let us look at what Egypt's new capital city is all about. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. Egypt's new administrative capital. The new administrative capital is a large-scale project in Egypt that has been under construction since 2015. It was announced by the then Egyptian Housing Minister Mustafa Madbouli at the Egypt Economic Development Conference on 13 March 2015. The city will be reportedly called Wadian, the Egyptian Arabic plural for Wadi. The new city is to be located 45 kilometers east of Cairo and just outside the second Greater Cairo Ring Road, in a currently largely undeveloped area halfway to the seaport city of Suez. According to the plans, the city will become the new administrative and financial capital of Egypt, housing the main government departments and ministries, as well as foreign embassies. On 700 square kilometers total area, it would have a population of 6.5 million people, though it is estimated that the figure could rise to 7 million. Why build a new city? We understand the question on your minds now and digging to know why Egypt is building a new city. Egypt's government simply wants to start running the nation from a new capital in the desert from the mid-2020s. But the $58 billion project is struggling to raise funds and needs to overcome the challenges after the original investors pulled out. But Egypt has to look for a way to move the project forward because it is of utmost importance that the city is raised. Officially, a major reason for the undertaking of the project was to relieve congestion in Cairo, which is already one of the world's most crowded cities, within the population of Greater Cairo expected to double in the next few decades. The existing capital, Cairo on the Nile, has become a traffic-clogged urban sprawl of more than 20 million people, but despite its population exploding from just 2.5 million people in 1950 to over 20 million people today, developing of the city's infrastructure has lagged behind its insatiable growth. Therefore, the project launched in 2015 by Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, a year after he was first elected president, aims to offer a clean and efficient base for the government and finance industry, as well as homes for at least 6.5 billion people, which will be greatly decongested in the city of Cairo. The project also seeks to lift the economy of Egypt, which is dented in political turmoil, because in 2010 study by the World Bank, it found that the economic losses caused by Cairo's congestion amounted to more than 4% of Egypt's GDP, and following a period of political instability that affected the progression of infrastructure projects, the country's government took the decision to construct an entirely new capital in 2015. The project has not been a walk down the park as Egypt lost its main investor even before the project could commence. Even after losing their lead investor from the United Arab Emirates, Egypt went back to the drawing board to see how it could get finances and investors and the projects. It is now being run by a new housing ministry and the Army's engineering authority. Ahmed Zaki Abdin, a retired general who heads the company building of the new city. Ahmed Abdin says one of the challenges of the project is finding skilled labor. He said the large scale of the work leads to large scale problems, such as finding enough skilled labor to wire up the smart city and raising about $58 billion in financing over coming years from land sales and other investments. We need very extensive financing and the state doesn't have money to give me, said Abdin, adding that about 20% of investments so far had come from abroad, including up to $4.5 billion from China. Plan and design of the new city. The master plan was drawn by American architecture firm Skidmore, Owings and Merrill (SOM) to produce the futuristic smart city, which was planned to be fully completed by 2050. The city is planned to consist of 21 residential districts and 25 dedicated districts. Its downtown is to have skyscrapers and a tall monument set to resemble the Eiffel Tower and Washington Monument. The city will also have a park double the size of New York City's Central Park, artificial lakes, about 2,000 educational institutions, a technological and innovation park, 663 hospitals and clinics, 1,250 mosques and churches, 40,000 hotel rooms, a major theme park 4 times the size of Disneyland, 90 square kilometers of solar energy farms, an electric railway link with Cairo, and a new international airport at the site of the Egyptian Air Force's existing Wadi Al Jandar Airport. The smart city has been designed with the climate in mind. Its landscaping incorporates native plant species and follows the natural contours of the land, while its buildings maximize natural ventilation as far as possible. A promotional video which was sent out to get investors depicts a green city running on cashless systems for transport and other services that contrasts with Cairo, much of whose elegant 19th and early 20th century architectural heart has fallen into despair. It is planned that the transfer of parliaments, presidential palaces, government ministries and foreign embassies will be completed between 2020 and 2022 at a cost of $45 billion US. A full cost and timescale for the overall project has not been disclosed, but many speculate it to range between $58 to $60 billion. The first phase, covering about 168 square kilometers out of the total 700 square kilometers, will have ministries, residential neighborhoods, a diplomatic quarter and a financial district. A large mosque and cathedral, as well as hotel and conference center, have already been built. With parks and tree-lined at venues, the city will consume an estimated 650,000 cubic meters a day of water from the North African nation's scarce resources. Feedback on former experiences of capital relocation was looked at in order to draw inspirations from it, as well as to avoid visible pitfalls to the process. For instance, by meeting with representatives from Nur Sultan de Astana, which replaced Almaty as the capital city of Kazakhstan in 1997. Construction process and progress. The initial official plan for this mega city, as Egypt's investment minister Asraf Salman had already mentioned, was that the new capital will be developed, master planned and executed by a private sector company at no cost to the Egyptian treasury. It was revealed that the city will be built by Capital City Partners, a private real estate investment firm led by Emirati businessman Mohammed Alaba. When the project was officially announced in March 2015, it was revealed that the Egyptian military had already begun building a road from Cairo to the site of the future capital. In September 2015, Egypt cancelled a memorandum of understanding signed with the UAE's Mohammed Alaba during the March Economic Summit, since they did not make any progress with the proposed plans. In the same month, Egypt signed a new memorandum of understanding with China State Construction Engineering Corporation (CSCEC) to study building and financing the administrative part of the new capital, which included ministries, government agencies, and the presidential office. The CSCEC signed agreements with Egyptian authorities in early 2016, 2017, and 2018 to develop parts of the project. Egyptian construction company Arab contractors were called to constructing the water supply and sewage lines to the new capital. The company stated that the studies needed were done, and it is supposed that the project would take 3 months to supply the city with the main services needed in order to prepare it for the construction work. At the construction site, diggers and cranes clutter the landscapes, and wide roads run between empty plots and part-finished buildings. Workers for China State Construction Engineering Corp. Lay foundations for the business districts, where 21 skyscrapers, including Africa's tallest at 85 stories, were planned. Abdin said he hoped a $1.2 billion electrified train link from Cairo to the city, also built by a Chinese firm, would be ready in 18 months. Before that, the city would be served by electric buses, he said. However, a $20 billion deal for the second project phase, agreed in 2016 with China Fortune Land Development Co. Limited, fell through over financial terms, leading to postponement of the second and third phases. Despite these setbacks, Egypt's general-turned-president has been keen to show off the project, visiting French President Emmanuel Macron on a helicopter tour of the site in January. David Sims, author of Egypt's Desert Dreams, a book on development projects, said that the backing of Egypt's presidency and military made the project too big to fall, although he said that did not guarantee people would want to live there. It is one thing to have an army of laborers and a lot of machinery out there pushing dirt around, but it will be another thing to see it all come together, he said. In January 2019, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated Egypt and Middle East's largest cathedral called the Nativity of Christ in the NAC and a mega mosque called Al-Fatah al-Ali Mosque. second only in size to Great Mosque of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Further parts of the city included the diplomatic areas were expected to be inaugurated in the fall of 2019. The project to construct Egypt's new capital has not been running entirely to plan. While the first phase is now under construction, it remains unclear whether the innovative design intentions outlined in the master plan will be fully realized. Conclusion: the new capital city of Egypt is a mega project which will not only give Egypt a facelift, decongest Cairo, but it will change the world's statistics on structures, gardens, playgrounds, as well as smart city analytics. Hence, this city is already a passion project for the entire African continent. But despite the positives, the project has fallen into major financial crisis. The first investor from the United Arab Emirates backed out, and then China came in with a breath of relief, but the second and third phases of the project have been delayed following Chinese investor Fortune Land Development pulling out of phase 2. That is worth around $20 billion. Beyond funding issues, critics of the project believe it is aimed solely at Egypt's wealthy citizens, and there is another school of thought that the finances being invested into the new city should have been used to cure the numerous problems Cairo is currently facing. The truth is that until the new capital city lives up to the expectations and promises made to the Egyptian populations, it will carry a dark cloud of criticism like chips on its shoulders. But that does not negate the fact that the project is a masterpiece and already an envy around the globe. There you have it, Displorers. That was everything you needed to know about Egypt's $58 billion new capital city under construction. Thanks for watching this video, and if you did enjoy this video, do well to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.